Hi, I'm Ray, and today I'm going to be building an emergency winter shelter without the use of any tools. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, when you're looking around for your perfect spot there to build your shelter, a couple of things you have to keep in mind is that you want an area that's going to be relatively flat. You want an area that has a lot of dead trees on the ground and dead lying trees. You're going to need this for your shelter. You're going to need it for firewood. Now the spot that I've chosen over here, I'll show you after, is it's under some pine trees. It's going to be pretty well sheltered from above with it. Now above my area, there's no dead branches hanging over me. I mean, you don't want to get a windy night where a branch comes down and hits you. So you've got to make sure there's no dead trees above you. And like I said, a relatively flat ground, lots of wood accessible, and just get started. If you find yourself caught in a survival situation, one of the most important things is to stay hydrated. Now, normally whenever I'm building a shelter, it would be built near water, or a stream, a pond, anything, that type of thing. But obviously in a winter like this, everything's frozen over, but you do have water. I mean, you got lots of it. You got to keep this stuff in you because dehydration can kill you very quick. Pretty yummy too. The first thing you want to do, get rid of any snow that's going to be inside of your shelter. The snow can draw the heat away from your body, and you don't want that. Don't push the snow too far because you'll be needing it to put it up against the walls. Now, while you're searching around for your material, build your shelter, it's always a good idea to gather up a bunch of little twigs. These are the ones that are on the trees are dry, they're very good for the fire. So just gather up a bunch of them. You're going to need them to start a fire later on. Put them in a dry place for now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put my ridge pole in. It's a good solid pole. I've got it sitting on a branch coming off this tree up here, and being that it's between these two, it's wedged. It's not going to go anywhere, especially after I get my other chunks of wood in here, my ribs. So that's going to make a good solid frame for it. That's how we're going to start, and now we're just going to build up the ribs off the side here. I'm going to break at some branches and we'll come back to it. Whenever you're cutting your ribs here, try to break them so that they don't extend much past the top of this ridge pole here. Because if any moisture came down through the top, it can actually follow the rib down into your shelter. So the lower the better. Just a couple of 3 inches above your main beam, they should be fine. Yeah, this is the perfect size for me. Not too big, not too small. I got plenty of room to build up with some pine boughs in here. Give me some insulation from the ground. And I'm going to have my fire just off to the front of the door here. It's minus 10 Celsius right now, which is, I think it's around 14 Fahrenheit. But during the day today, it's supposed to snow quite a bit, and the temperature's supposed to go up and maybe even get into a little bit of freezing rain. So I'm going to have to get this thing sealed up pretty well if I'm going to be warm tonight and dry. So, but it's going to be fun. Love it. Okay, now that I have the main skeletal structure made, this is the part that's going to support everything. I'm going to start adding some smaller branches with little twigs coming off and that type of thing. The reason for that is whenever I go to lay my pine boughs on there and my bark and leaves and everything that I'm going to use to cover this thing up with, those little twigs will help hold everything in place. So that's where I'm at right now, so I'll start doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to be collecting some boughs off the pine and cedar trees. I'm only going to be taking a couple off of each tree. There's a lot of these trees around, and I'll just be breaking a couple off each tree, so it's not going to destroy the tree. Take them sparingly, and I use these to line the outside of the shelter as well as the bed. Help me keep me warm, keep the cold from the ground coming up onto me. While you're out picking up wood to build your shelter, you should always keep an eye open for material that you can use to start the fire with. I just came across these tall grasses here. They're nice and dry. I'm going to collect a few of these. That can help me start my fire later on. And I can try and find some smaller stuff from this too, so I can make a bird's nest out of it. Which will help me get my fire going. Now when placing the boughs, you see there's a natural curve to them. You want to put that curve down and point the branch down as well, like this, so your branches are all pointing down. That way there, if any moisture gets on here, it's going to wick it away. If you were to put it like this, water would get on here and it would just tumble off the back and right into your shelter. So Now I don't imagine water is going to be much of an issue tonight. I hope not anyways. But it's the way it should be built, just in case, you never know. So now that I've got a thin layer of the pine and cedar boughs on here, I've got myself a piece of dead bark that I'm going to use as a scoop of sorts. Grab some snow and put it on top of this, give myself a layer of snow. Snow is a very good insulator, and it's at the point there now where the structure will hold it, and so I'm just going to try and build up from that right now. Okay, so now the shelter is pretty much finished. Just have to throw a little bit more snow on top and stuff like that, but right now I got inside and I cleared out any snow that came through while I was throwing it on there, and clean that up a bit. Now I'm going to take these boughs and line the floor in there, and that'll be my bed. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a walk around here to show you what the shelter looks like finished. Lots of snow on it, so it's well insulated. There's some of the firewood I picked up. Now there's the entrance. I don't know if you can see in there or not. I've lined it with some boughs. And I'm going to put a few more boughs in there. It's not quite thick enough, but I want to make a nice bed of them. And so that's it for the shelter. So there you have it, a winter emergency shelter that you can build without any tools and only using dead wood. Dead wood standing, dead wood laying. I hope you enjoyed this video. I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. We'll be having more videos coming out, and you can also follow me on Facebook. Cheers for now.